Okay, so you join us now on the RAVE stand at Aircraft Interiors Expo in Hamburg on day one. Towards the end of day one, things are starting to break up a little bit, and some of the stand drinks are starting, which is great. I'm joined by Ben Asmar, who is the Vice President of Product and Strategy at RAVE. Ben, thanks for talking to us about what you do. So give us a bit of background on RAVE. What do you do? And I believe this stand wasn't here last year. You'll tell us why and what's happened to this company in the meantime.
Yep. Yeah. Sounds good. So RAVE Aerospace was previously owned by Safran.
Yeah.
So on February this year, we actually divested out of Safran. So we're now an independent company. And we're involved in making in-flight entertainment systems and connectivity systems. And we sell those to commercial airlines all over the world so they can put great movies in front of passengers on long flights and enjoy and be engaged with our stunning 4K displays, watching wonderful movies on big screens, and also now looking at how we can even connect those screens to the internet with the likes of Starlink coming along and shaking things up a little bit in our space.
It does seem to be.
They certainly did, and they still are. But I mean, we took the approach of saying, you know what? Why don't we just work with them directly and figure out how to embed their technology and integrate it with ours so we get a better IFE experience by making sure the connection is good and we can start doing some really interesting things with a connected IFE screen at that point.
So the RAVE, as we were talking before we started, but RAVE as a concept started. It was actually a product going back. It was was it the screen? Was the IFE?
That's exactly right. Yeah. So RAVE is actually an acronym also.
Okay.
It stands for reliable, affordable, and very easy.
Okay.
Because IFE traditionally is none of those things.
Okay.
So the way RAVE started was to say, we need to fix this. We need something that's reliable so airlines don't have to worry about having dark flights.
Yeah.
It's something that's not so expensive because IFE traditionally has been very, very, very expensive, both to procure and then maintain over time. And then very easy. Our systems are very easy. Maintenance costs less. And it's easy for passengers to use. It's easy for crew to use. And it's just a better overall system. And we think, us coming into the market, we're probably the younger player in the market compared to the other two. We've brought a lot of innovation, and we think overall it's driven competition and it's kind of sharpened the other guys up. They had to pay attention. They had to look at their pricing. They had to look at the features they offered. We came in and we believe at that point we disrupted the market for IFE and made IFE actually more innovative. All the suppliers now are producing better hardware, better features, and actually having passengers on board now with these systems is actually a really, really nice experience.
Yeah, there's definitely a very vibrant. We're in the IFE section of the of the trade show, and it's quite there's a lot of companies. There's a lot going on, but it's quite a vibrant area. I find it's one of the more interesting areas because of the innovation. It's technology, isn't it? And it's almost, and we can also. We can understand it from our own homes and stuff. We're using amazing screens and OLED screens and all this stuff. So we're used to this. And
now we use mini LED screens in our displays. But that's okay. OLED's fine too. Mini LED we chose because the visuals are stunning.
Okay.
But it's also much more suited to the environment which it's in.
Right.
Those screens are on planes for up to 20 years.
Yeah. Okay.
So an OLED, it's an organic display. It's got organic properties. It's probably going to be struggling to reach a 20-year lifespan and keeping the same visuals as it had at day one. Mini LED is based on LCD technology. It's tried and tested in this industry. It's been used for a very long time. Produces stunning results. If you put a mini LED versus an OLED and you put them both in front of passengers, they're going to say they both look fantastic. I'll be happy to sit behind either one of those displays.
Yeah, fine.
So we made our choices based on the principles of it has to be reliable.
Going back to the acronym of RAVE, exactly. And actually, your stand has got a very big LED screen, which
it does.
I noted on the way in, because not least because it's quite warm. Everyone's going past it, going, "Oh, there's a nice heat source there."
Which is it's stunning setup because it was quite cold in here.
But it is stunning as well.
It is stunning.
It's a curved screen.
We will show you something
very special.
Also, we have an Origin seat concept here with an immersive display concept in it, which is actually using that technology and putting it in a first-class seat.
Okay.
So it's a wrap-around display in a seat where you can get fully immersed.
And that's over there in your display, isn't it? So talk to us about this Origin seat. It's a Safran seat, so it goes back to your old connection with Safran.
Right. Yeah. So we partnered with Safran. We kind of got together and thought, what is the future of premium travel? What do we think it looks like? What's the art of the possible? What technology is available or going to come available in the short term that really elevates what can be done in the cabin and even makes people more immersed and takes them away from thinking they're on a flight and takes them somewhere else altogether, which means they arrive more fresh, they have a much more enjoyable flight, their loyalty to the airline is going to be higher, all those good things. So it's really embedding technology in with the seat directly and making a fully immersed experience where you think you can even control some of the environmentals around how the display works and use it for things like lighting, use it for full wraparound kind of environmental things. So if you think about having an immersive movie experience where you're watching the movie in front of you, but if the Sphere is a good example in Las Vegas where they have this great big immersive screen with other content that supports the movie, we can now do those kind of things on a plane, which is incredible.
Yeah, very special. So we can see that. We'll go and see that in a minute. We'll get our cameras over there and show people what it looks like. So apart from that, I know you'll be innovating a lot. What else are you talking about that's going to be new and innovative to the delegates this week?
So the key things we're talking about is we're launching our RAVE OS, which is the operating system that runs on our displays. We're launching version 2. And there's a couple of interesting things we're doing in that. The first one is we're moving from a kind of a closed ecosystem to an open platform.
Okay.
What that means is we're going to open it up to other software developers to make stuff to go on RAVE.
Right.
So ultimately, if you, as an airline, want to go and get an application or get some additional software or features for your system, normally you've got to come to your IP supplier. We say, okay, let's get some requirements, and it goes in a backlog, and then 2 years later you might get something.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
We said that model just stinks. We should go to a model that's more like traditional on the ground software development.
It's like an app store, is it?
Exactly,
like a Google App Store, to put it into consumers' parlance.
Right. So with RAVE OS 2, we're actually launching something called the Developer Suite, which allows developers to make applications for RAVE, and we're launching the App Marketplace, which allows airlines to go download and buy those applications and deploy them to their aircraft.
Or build their own, maybe, I don't know.
Or build their own.
Yeah,
exactly right.
And you control that, so you will give those apps a green light.
Correct.
It's open, but it's not free for all. You have to verify, as Apple does with
like
Apple,
an App Store concept from an Apple. We thought, that's a good model. Why can't that model work for us? We think it's actually a very good fit for this industry because it takes away the lag and the slow nature of how this software is normally developed, mainly because we've got a lot of customers and they want a lot of features, so the backlog is long. We think, no, it should be short. We should be able to come up with a concept and deploy it within 6 weeks.
Wow, okay. So we should see things happening quickly.
We should see things moving forward faster than they have ever done so before.
What areas do you think it's not in your control? You're just creating a platform, so it's up to everybody else. But what areas do you think we'll see emerging with this kind of open technology?
I think there's a couple of interesting things we'll see around the gaming space. I think online gaming is quite popular in many kind of circles, and you see people wanting to take that with them and game wherever they're at. So a plane is a good example of where you can do that. Commerce is a good one. So think about you've got someone sitting in front of a screen for a long time. The airline wants to start to monetize that screen. Perhaps they can do a partnership with a store or another retailer where they have an interface there. They can go browse a catalog. They can buy something and pay for it. Maybe it's delivered then at home. Or even if it's a small item, it can be delivered on board directly. So it also opens up many more opportunities for the airline, not just to have an entertainment interface, but an engagement interface, but also potentially a monetization interface.
And that's key for airlines. I mean,
absolutely. Right now.
People don't want to hear this, but airlines actually don't make enough money from the efforts they put into putting these things in the air, do they?
Absolutely.
They do not want to hear this because they don't want to pay any more money for it because it's expensive as it is. But to be fair, the margins aren't great. So I know airlines are looking for every revenue stream they can.
Absolutely right.
Particularly if it adds value. I mean, I suppose what's happened in recent years is airlines have sort of depackaged the seat and sold the components. That looks a little bit like they're just trying to revenue optimize it against the passenger.
Right.
Whereas if they can offer some value,
exactly right,
then the passenger or the customer is quite happy to take part in that.
Now you pair that with our onboard ad platform, which is more in tune with digital out-of-home ad platforms. We've tried to build it around that model, where you can do ads live to the aircraft over the connectivity, which means you can put an offer to someone that's quite personalized. It might be something they're interested in because we know a little bit about them. They're more likely then to go buy whatever that product is. So the airline gets some ad revenue, then you get some and some revenue from the sale as well. So we can really start to look at how we can make these platforms actually provide some money back into the airline rather than just outpaying.
And you've got that captured audience, maybe for 8 hours at a time. All they're looking at is the back of a screen.
It's the elusive captive audience that everyone always talks about, but we've not yet really figured it out. So that's what we're trying to do. How do we get that captive audience more engaged than just watching movies, but also have that help the airline as well?
When you talk about opening up to developers and app developers and third parties, on that side of things. You've also then got the connectivity, and we talked about Skylink before we started talking, but and how that's revolutionising things. So what's clear is that, and you can see it here today, you can do what you can do in your area, but you're part of a larger ecosystem of companies. So how do you see that evolving?
I mean, from our perspective, we are really focused on partnerships. You'll see a lot of our innovation space, it's built with partners, it's not just built by us.
Yeah.
We feel if you get people who are well-versed in particular areas and we get together and we take the best bits about what we can both do, then we're ultimately going to deliver a better product than if we tried to do it by ourselves. One thing we're very clear on is if we're not an expert in something, we're not going to try and expend the resource to become an expert. We're just going to go find an expert and bring them into our ecosystem and have them help us deliver something that's ultimately going to be impressing passengers on board aircraft. So from our perspective on partnership, the more the better. The more valued partners we can get into our ecosystem, the more it enhances it. And the more our airlines can benefit from that by getting applications and different concepts and ideas that probably wouldn't have come out if we didn't have those partnerships.
And I suppose a week like this is a good opportunity to not only speak to the airlines who might end up using your products, but to find those partnerships. There are all sorts of companies around here who may think, I can partner with RAVE. So you're open to that conversation. And
absolutely. And in fact, we have got partners that are just over there. We have SkyTed, who we are partnering with. We've got another couple that are around here. SkyTed, yes.
And
they do the ability to make silent calls on board planes. Talking about Starlink, you can now make calls. So how do you keep the cabin noise to a minimum? You have some funky technology that helps you whisper into the thing, but have the other person at the other end be able to hear it. But also gives you a visualization on your screen to say, hey, you're talking a little bit loud. Maybe you should keep it down a bit.
It's true. There are pros and cons to this little thing. I read a piece not long ago, from someone bemoaning the fact that the aircraft cabin is the last place where we don't have connectivity, and that is now going. So it's not for everybody, this, but I suppose it's not whether you do it, it's how you do it. Indeed. To keep as many people as happy as possible.
I think we've lost the battle on that one now with the likes of Starlink. It's here to stay. And I think people are now seeing the value it can add to their journey.
Well, I mean, what is your take on that battle there? Starlink clearly is, you see the likes of BA jumping onto it. It's relatively cheap. It's easy to install. And I mean, are they winning the battle, or is it still going to be a kind of a diverse network of providers in that space? I
mean, in any kind of commercial avenue, you never want one guy holding all the cards, right? I mean, competition stifles, prices go up, all those kind of things. So you need definitely competition. And you can see the likes of Amazon coming in with Amazon Leo. But even in RAVE Aerospace, we are a provider of connectivity hardware. And that's something we're continuing on with. It's part of our long-term strategy. We're a partner with Airbus. We provide that equipment for the HBC Plus concept. And it's a little bit different. I mean, Starlink is about a particular technology. It's only that technology. That's all you can get. You can't change it. It's difficult. Our technology is a bit different. It's using some equipment that is compatible with multiple different satellite networks. So if you have the equipment installed on our aircraft, you can choose your MSP, basically. So you could say have SES today, and if you want to switch because they're not giving you a good deal anymore, you can go to Hughes tomorrow. Which means you can drive down the cost of the bandwidth potentially. So I think it still is a multiplayer game. I think Starlink have come in and said, hey, look, we think we can solve this problem of patchy connectivity that's not as fast as everyone likes by using low Earth orbit satellites. But the other guys doing geostationary and mid-Earth orbit satellites still have definitely viable products to give.
I was going to say, you still think there's a role for GEO and MEO, although LEO clearly is the one that's going to provide the most
for sure. I mean,
consistent experience, isn't it?
There's definitely been a leaning towards that way for sure. But I mean, even if you look at some of the mid-Earth orbit networks, which have equal kind of latency benefits and some of the LEO stuff, you're still getting that benefit of feeling like it's a fast connection, but with lots of capacity. And the benefit about the GEO networks is there's a ton of capacity out there, so that is also helpful. But I mean, we and Airbus believe that there's a role to play to keep the market, with different products that people can choose based on their specific geographic locations. I mean, there are issues with Starlink with some regulatory areas. You can't get it in some parts of the world. So that means there needs to be other products to fill that gap also.
The other question this has raised is what does this kind of connectivity, when it's ubiquitous and it's very quick, and what does that do to people's behaviour in the aircraft? In relation to that seat, that screen on the back of the seat? There's a feeling. There's a feeling actually they could use it more because it's a multi-screen. So you become a multi-screen person or multi-screen situation like you are at home.
Indeed.
Where you've got probably an iPad and a phone and the TV at the same time.
Well, and the seatback screen will be connected to the internet.
Yeah.
I mean that for sure is happening. We're already seeing it now with some of our customers that are connecting, and we're pushing applications over the satellite connectivity and pushing content. So that's already starting to occur. The capability is just going to expand.
Yeah.
And multi-screen for sure will be a thing. I mean, everyone always talks about, the internet on planes is going to kill seatback IFE because people are just going to use their devices. That's just not the case.
No. Well, I guess what the competition will be is when you're fully connected, there's going to be nothing stopping anybody to sort of just going on and logging into their own Netflix account or their own BBC account if you're British.
There's some licensing challenges around that.
So how does the airline manage that, and where does the airline compete in that?
And who's responsible for making sure that the content that is displayed on their screens is licensed and legal to watch?
Or even appropriate.
Right. So there's definitely challenges with that. So I think the closed ecosystem still has benefits around content curation.
Yeah.
But for sure, just like any other environment, hotels are a great example. I mean, you go to a hotel now, you can see all these applications which aren't terrestrial TV, you can go and consume.
Yeah.
So the airplane will be the same. You've already seen the BBC, they had an announcement I saw earlier this week where they now have an airline version of the BBC player.
Exactly, yeah.
That's a fantastic innovation because they've taken something which is already great and they said, hey, we're going to make it available as an application on board planes. So just like we have an open platform, we could invite the BBC to come and have their app on our platform. Hopefully they do.
Yep.
Maybe you should give them a good word for me. But also then the content is licensed and they're assured that they're also getting the revenue for their content that's being played to those passengers on board the aircraft as well.
Yeah. Cool. Look, before we finish up, a quick word on what's very special things happening tonight.
Yes.
The annual Crystal Cabin Awards. You're a finalist. To explain what you're hoping to win tonight. What are your finalists?
We're in the accessibility category.
Okay.
So a couple of years ago, we actually launched a fully accessible interface for the IFE, which is designed specifically for people with disabilities.
Yep.
So we're now taking that one step further and saying, all right, so there's still a missing gap here, and that's cabin announcements. So when the cabin crew get on the PA system and make an announcement, when the captain gets on the PA system and makes an announcement, people that can't hear, they can't hear that announcement.
Yeah.
So what we're actually doing with AI, so with our new RAVE 5 displays, there's actually an AI processor in the display. We already get the audio from that announcement coming through our system. So in real time, we're now transcribing that and writing what the captain or the cabin crew is saying directly on the screen in text so someone can read it.
Yeah.
One more benefit you get is we can actually then translate that text into any language.
Right.
So we're closing a couple of gaps, one definitely on accessibility, another on inclusion for people who may not speak the language that the airline is native at. Cabin crew speak lots of languages, but not all of them. So this really helps in those areas as well. We feel it makes the flight more inclusive, not for just people with disabilities, but also people who speak different languages.
Yeah.
And it's happening live on the screen in the cabin, so even if you don't have connectivity, this feature will still work.
Okay.
We think it's fantastic, and we're really hoping we're going to take an award home this evening.
Yeah. So I know you're one of a few finalists in that category, but good luck with that.
Thank you very much.
We'll have my colleague Greg, who edits Aircraft Cabin Management, will be there tonight.
Wonderful.
He'll be listening out. I'll make sure he listens out for whether you.
Excellent.
And we'll find out tomorrow. So by the time people listen to this, they'll have known if you won or not. So I'll say congratulations ahead of time.
But, very good. Thank you.
Just for being a finalist, of course, it's excellent. So look, thanks for talking to us today at AIX. All the best for the rest of the show.
Thank you very much.
We'll see you again here next year, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Cheers.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks.